it's Raka and you're welcome back to another movie of the week. And the movie this week was Disaster Artist from 2017. So if you haven't watched it, watch it now. If this is your first time here, I'm doing movie of the week where I talk about a movie here. You guys comment below your thoughts. At the end of every video, I see the movie for next week so you can follow along. 2024 has this theme of reboots, sequels, franchises. So the video before this is The Room. So you definitely should not be watching Disaster Artist without watching The Room first. I'm sure some people watched Disaster Artist and never watched The Room first and was confused. But I'm saying watch The Room first, watch my video about The Room first, then watch Disaster Artist, and then watch this video. So I'm someone who loves like kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of like how things are made, and I, was really excited when I heard that there was this movie, and obviously this is not my first time watching it, and the Franco brothers are, it's right? Are they, wait, what's their names? Yeah, the Franco brothers. What am I saying? Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, yeah, I'm right. I forgot Dave's name for a second. Oh my god. Anyway, the Franco brothers, controversial. I feel like they're kind of weird. So whatever. I'm not gonna go speaking to my mind. But anyway, I feel like in the end, they're both like really amazing actors. And if you didn't know, like James Franco didn't only just play the role of Tommy, he directed the film as well. And he did a really great job, and obviously he did an amazing job being Tommy because he had to get the accent right, he had to get the mannerisms right and everything, and that's not an easy thing to do. I don't know necessarily like his process of doing that. Maybe I should have done more research, but obviously he probably didn't do what Austin Butler did for Elvis, where he was like really became the actor and became a method actor. I'm sure he did some kind of method acting. Like he really probably had to prepare for this role much more than Dave or any of the other actors, but he definitely like did such an amazing job for this role, and it was just unbelievable. I also like when like actors like are interested in story and want to create it and show the story. So James was really interested in that, and as you can tell like throughout the film they had so many other like great actors who some even had like small cameos, but it was just like really great. Zoe Dutch was at the beginning, Alison Brie because she's married to Dave Franco. I don't know if they were married yet when they did this, but she was in that. Seth Rogen's in it. Josh Hutcherson is in it, and what's his name? Zac Efron this movie, and I feel like I'm missing one other person. Also, Judd Apatow is in a scene, and it's so funny because he's like, obviously he's like a really good big producer, has produced so much, and then the character in the scene, he is a producer, so it's so funny that James did that. And it's so interesting too because I feel like Judd, unless I'm just not remembering, I feel like he's never even done like a cameo in one of his movies. So it's kind of interesting that he did it in this movie, and then he actually was like really good. Like he actually killed it. So that was really great. I wish like Leslie Mann, his wife, was like the person who was sitting with him, and I feel like that would have been funny. But anyway, when you think about this movie, it's a movie about making movies, and I watched a lot of those in film school. I've seen a lot of those. I feel like they're kind of like famous, and it's like a genre in itself. It's like movies about the entertainment business, movies about making movies, and technically this is a movie about making movies. And I don't think people really realize that because it is like based off a true story, and I feel like a lot of these movies about making movies aren't based off a true story. Like the movies about making movies that I've seen that are about true stories are documentaries. So it's very interesting to have a narrative one, but I think it's also interesting to see like a kind of different perspective about movies about making movies about this guy. Like it's the same American like Hollywood dream that these two people had, but there's one just like really, I feel like Dave's character, and then he was like kind of normal and just like had this dream, and then Tommy's character was just a wild card that's like like, wow, this is like a true story, like this isn't something that someone created or made up, like this is a real guy and this like actually happened. And I think the movie did really good into getting like this whole mystery of him as well, because like what was his age, where was he from, like he kept saying he was from New Orleans when clearly he wasn't because of his accent, and him being like, what accent? And then there's all this mystery about like his money and how he's getting money, because he was able, you know, Dave was having, I'm just gonna say the actors' names. Dave was having some success, not too much success, but a little bit of success in Hollywood, and Tommy was getting nothing. And it's kind of interesting, like, how did Tommy get all this money? Like, parts of me thinks like he probably inherited it. I don't think he like was able to, or maybe he like won some like big court case or something, because I don't think there was any way that there's a bug. I don't think there was any way that he was able to like work for it or like had a job or something. I think like something happened and he got lucky, and he just like, maybe that's why he came to America, and like he doesn't really know what to do with the money, and he just like has apartments in different cities, and he's just like looking for a friend. Because I don't know, maybe something happened to him when he was younger that was so traumatizing, and maybe that's why he's money for like some traumatic financial confiscation, something, I don't know. And I just feel like he's some guy with obviously some mental problems that probably should have fixed, but he's, all he wanted in life was like a friend and stuff, which is kind of sad. But yeah, he had all this money and everything, and you know, I think maybe that's why he wanted to be a famous actor and everything, because a lot of times with actors and, you know, famous people in general, they have so many friends, or at least it seems that way. They have so many friends, they have so many people looking up to them. They have, it seems like everyone wants to be them, everyone wants to be with them, everyone wants to be friends with them. So I feel like that's why Tommy wanted to maybe take on acting and pursue it. And also because his friend that he made was into it and wanted to do it. Maybe that's, you know, that's what pushed him to like, you know, move to LA and everything. And it's kind of interesting too, because Dave's character, he was young, you know, he didn't really look that way. Dave does, see, the bug just went right in front of the camera. Dave didn't really look 19 at the beginning. Also the mom is someone famous, I forgot her name. But I think it's something where you're like so young and you have a dream and you're like, yeah, this guy seems kind of crazy, but like you only live once, and he was kind of, you know, taking that on. And then because Tommy had so much money that when, you know, Dave started not having as much success in Hollywood, and Tommy has had none, or maybe, I think he was just having, I think they were just both struggling. And Tommy was struggling a lot because I was like really close to when, you know, Judd Apatow was like, you're not gonna make it, which is so true. I think it's like, I think this movie really showed like it's so hard in Hollywood, and people just like think it's so glamorous, and that's why it takes a lot. And it's not takes a lot where it's like necessary, like you have to work so hard, which is a part of it. It takes a lot where it's like you have to be so used to rejection. You're gonna be rejected like a million times, and you have to still be okay. Like, and Tommy's not one of those people who are good at rejection, and it's hard. And a lot of people, you know, they can take some rejection, but it gets to a point and they're out. You know, they can't stay with it, because you really never know when you're gonna get your break. Because sometimes I feel like in Hollywood, you know, they say it's lucky, but I think it's really like, if you get a little part, they like, if they're looking for a character or a role and have something very specific and you have it, even if you're not the greatest actor, if you don't have like the resume, if you're right for the role at the right time, you'll get it, and that role could really make you. Anyway, those are my thoughts about Hollywood. So yeah, he wrote a script, and it's kind of crazy, like, where did the script come from? And you know, one point in the movie later on when they're filming, someone says, I think it's biographical, like this happened to him. But I feel like it's something where like he obviously like doesn't have much experience. Women don't really understand how women are, and it's something where me and my friend were talking about Neil Breen, like this is his fantasy. These, like, we were watching Fatal Findings, like this is his fantasy. And I feel like even though he wrote like the female character so awfully, even though he wrote it where like people were betraying him, I feel like this is a little bit of like a fantasy for him. And so I think that's where it comes from, but I feel like there is still a mystery of like where this comes from, and I don't feel like it's something that necessarily happened to him. Maybe like parts of it happened to him, and maybe he's exaggerating some parts, like maybe he was never with Lisa, maybe it was something where it's like a crush, and then she ended up with this guy that he wanted to be his friend or something. But I think it also worked with the story because that was kind of around the time where Dave's character wanted to move on, wanted to move out and stuff, and like also like could have had this great role, and he didn't let him take on the role. So I think it kind of made sense. And then the whole thing where, you know, how he treated his set, like he just like, and it's so obvious he's never been on a film set before, and like that's kind of, it's really, I think, really hard to be a director if you've never been on a film set before. I've been on a short film set before, and that was like already overwhelming for me, and I can't imagine like a feature like set, like that was a professional set I was on, a short film, but and like that was a lot, but I can't imagine like a feature set with like, you know. And obviously this was, even though it was $5 million because they went over their days of filming, but I think like also they bought the equipment or whatever. They definitely overcharged them, but they could because he didn't care. I mean, he must be a multi-millionaire. Like, I don't know who this man is, but I think it's interesting to see, like, then I think like that's the most interesting part of the film, is like to see the process of like the filming. Also at the beginning of the movie, they had people talking about like how they had a few other famous actors and celebrities talking about how they wish they were there and how great a film it is. So I feel like it's interesting to see the part about like what it was like on the set, because it's not like a real set. And like even like the mother character said at one point, like, you know, you have this, you know, you have the passion for acting, like your worst day on a film set is better than any day everywhere else. And so, you know, it's just, I think this like passion and love for filmmaking. But I think it gets really into like, overall the film gets really into like Tommy and who he is and his relationship with this other, what was his name? I don't even know, guy, and how this film got made, that everyone loves so much this film. And so, you know, you see a lot of documentaries about like really famous films and stuff, like behind the scenes. You don't really see like narratives about those films being made, but I feel like this is a moment where like a narrative really needed to happen. I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting, but yeah, I think I love like watching movies like this movie, and then like it gives you a new perspective on the room, and then you can like go watch The Room again and have a new perspective about it. And I think it's just overall interesting. Oh my god, this bug has been attacking me this entire video, guys. But thank you guys for watching, and comment below your thoughts. And then the next thing we're doing is the Mighty Ducks. So we're gonna watch the first Mighty Ducks movie next week from 1992. So comment your thoughts about The Room, comment your thoughts about Disaster Artist here, and watch Mighty Ducks for next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.